Factorising harder quadratics. In the previous clip, we looked at factorising quadratics where the coefficient of the x squared term was 1. In this clip, we're looking at quadratic expressions where the coefficient of the x squared term is greater than 1. As you can see here, the coefficient of the x squared term is 2. In this method, we still have to find two numbers which add to give me plus 7, but the difference is we need to find two numbers which multiply to give me the product of these two numbers, the 2 and the 5. So that would be 10. So I will start by listing all the factor pairs of the number 10. So here are my factor pairs. So 10 times 1 minus 10 times minus 1. Don't forget the negatives. 2 times 5 and minus 2 times minus 5. Now of those pairs, the two that will give me plus 7 when we add them together, of course, is the plus 2 and 5. So what we do next is we take these two numbers, 2 and 5, and we rewrite the plus 7x as plus 5x and plus 2x. So I've done that. I've written the plus 7x as plus 2x and plus 5x. So I've separated this middle term into two terms. The next step is I'm going to factorise these two terms and then factorise these two terms. So the factor of 2x squared and 2x is 2x. So inside my bracket goes x and plus 1. So I now move over to my other two terms and find the factor that divides into both 5x and 5, and that is plus 5. Inside my bracket goes x and plus 1. Now if I've done this correctly and I factorise both these two expressions fully, I should have two identical brackets. The next step is we bring one of these brackets down below. Then we combine these two terms outside the bracket, and then we put brackets around them. And this is my final answer. As you can see, there's many steps to this process, so it's important to practice. So let's have a look at this one. So remember, we have to find two numbers that add to give me plus 7, and then two numbers which multiply to give me plus 6. So what I will do is I will list my factor pairs of the number 6. So here we have our four pairs, 6 and 1, minus 6 and minus 1, 3 and 2, and minus 3 and minus 2. But which of these four pairs also add to give me plus 7? That's right, it's 6 and 1. So we now rewrite the plus 7x as plus 6x and plus 1x, or plus x. So now that I have rewritten my 7x as plus 6x and plus x, I'm going to separate the 2x squared plus 6x and the plus x plus 3, and I'm going to factorise these two terms and factorise these two terms. Now when I factorise 2x squared plus 6x, I get 2x outside the brackets and x plus 3 inside the brackets. When we move to these two terms, you wouldn't really factorise this. However, in order for this method to work, we need to factorise it. So the only factor that we could find in x and 3 would be just 1. So we say plus 1 is the factor, and inside the brackets goes x plus 3. So my final step is I bring one of the brackets down, so that's x plus 3, and then I combine the 2x and the 1. So that will give me 2x plus 1, and then put brackets around it. So we have our final answer. Here we have another one. Do you think you can remember how to do this? Let's have a go. Now we have to find the number which adds So we're trying to find two numbers which will add to give me the number in front of the x term here, which is the coefficient of x. Now, as there's no number there, don't forget from a previous clip we referred to it as 1. We need to find two numbers which add to give me plus 1, and they also multiply to give me minus 12. So let's start off by listing the factor pairs of minus 12. As you can see, there are 6 pairs which will multiply to give me minus 12, but only one of those pairs will satisfy the condition of adding to give me plus 1. And that pair is 4 and minus 3. As you can see, I've rewritten the plus 1x as plus 4x and minus 3x, and then I'm going to separate them into two pairs. And then when I factorise 2x squared plus 4x, I get 2x and x plus 2 in brackets, and then I factorise minus 3x minus 6 and I get minus 3 outside, and inside I get x plus 2. Last step is I bring down one of the brackets, x plus 2, and then I bring down these two terms outside the brackets and combine them, and there we have our final answer. Here's another question with slightly bigger numbers to work with. So can you remember what to do? That's right, first of all we have to see what adds to give minus 31, and then what multiplies to give me 210. So I've listed my 6 pairs of numbers which multiply to give me 210, but the pair that also adds to give me minus 31 is minus 10 and minus 21. I then have rewritten my minus 31x as minus 21x and minus 10x. Then I separate the expression. Then factorising each part, I get 3x brackets 5x minus 7. And then on the other two terms, I will get minus 2 brackets 5x minus 7. Then bring this bracket down below, so I've got 5x minus 7, and then I combine these two terms together and I get 3x minus 2, and that is my final answer. Now it's your turn to answer some questions. Pause the video and try these. How did you do? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then try again.